You mentioned, the situation at the border right now. National Guard troops
Right.
deployed down there once again. I mean, what do you see? What do you envision come the election time once it's passed? However, the shakeup happens. What do you envision happening if you win your election? What do you want to do down at the border?
First and foremost, the border situation is a direct national security threat. It's why I passed as one of the first pieces of legislation in Congress, H.R. 2, an ability to support our customs and border agents, make sure that we secure the border, we shut down the inflow of Chinese-made fentanyl that comes through Mexican cartels directly into our communities. Just this week, again, I got a bipartisan win on border security to help our law enforcement, our frontline defenders, fight this. But we shouldn't be asking our police and first responders to be not only the first line, but the last line of defense in this. Right now, we're asking the administration to do its job, to shut down the border for the illegal flow of immigrants, to end catch and release, to be able to reinstate Remain in Mexico. The president can do this right now, and the Biden administration has failed time and time again. In Congress, we have passed laws, but they're not being enforced. And at this point, we've got 8 million illegals who have cut the line, who have come in and made it harder for legal immigration to happen, bringing with it a surge in fentanyl that's killing 150 Americans a day. This is a weapon of mass destruction that needs to be addressed. And ultimately, we have an administration that's more interested in kicking veterans out of homes to make room for illegal migrants. And we saw firsthand military-age men cycling through CBP in 72 hours. It doesn't matter how many guardsmen or CBP agents we have. If we can't stop this inflow of illegal immigrants, we have a real national security problem inside our own border.
Do you think that with, as you're outlining too, helping out the first responders right there too, having their backs, would making the legal avenue easier, whether that's more judges down there on the border to help out these legal immigrants that are coming through the ports? Do you think that could go hand in hand down there? At the
yes, yes, and yes. Look, here's the reality. We have the ability right now to make sure that people who are seeking asylum are adjudicated through a port of entry. But that's not what's happening. We're seeing Chinese nationals pay $40,000 to a cartel to walk through gaping holes in the fence that the Biden administration refused to build. We're seeing it happen right here in Iowa. 35,000 pills being captured on I-35 by our first line of defense, the Iowa State Patrol and local law enforcement. They're the ones having to stop a fentanyl scourge, which should have been stopped at the southern border. The reality is we're putting more and more on our individual states, but at the same time, we're handcuffing our states from doing those things of protecting our community. The Department of Justice, the Biden administration, needs to stand with states, with our communities, to defend our country, not make it harder for law enforcement and first responders to do the job of helping save lives here in America.